What's not wonderful is this attack on anime, and there's two things going on. There's the Matt Walsh garbage, and then there's this garbage with edge runners that there's a Latino lead in his journey. But I guess Renee was talking about some racism going on. But let's back up a little bit, because I know you have some thoughts, and clearly you're an expert here on what's going on. What is going on with anime and this gentleman Matt Walsh?
Well, Matt Walsh, who works for the Daily Wire, so he's under Ben Shapiro. He has been at the forefront of culture war, specifically dealing with promulgation of certain things within schools and pushing it on children. Okay. For the most part, I typically don't have a lot of problems with him. But if he wants to believe that anime is of the devil, by the devil, for the devil, that's his choice. The problem that I have with it is right after he said it, he said he has no proof of why. It just feels it. And for a guy that works for another guy that says, facts don't give a flying F about your feelings, this is why conservatives have been losing the culture war for decades. Wow, if you're going to combat this, you just can't willy-nilly throw something out there without backing it up. And as I said, if he wants to believe it and doesn't want to watch it, that's fine. That's his choice. That part's not a problem. But you just can't go around saying something as, let's say, as flamethrowy as that, and not expect a backlash.
Right, he's just saying here, I'm catching some heat because I said that anime is satanic. I just want to clarify that, yes, it is. It will literally lead to demonic possession upwards of 87% of cases, studies show. Now,
is he
just taking the piss out of this at this point? Is he just trying to be a funny guy? I think this is a joke.
I would think so.
He can't be serious.
And that's the problem. I don't know him well enough to be able to say that or not. But at the same time, that's just, even if it's trolling, it's some people just are not naturally good at trolling, and I don't think this is a good attempt at trolling. Maybe it is. Maybe I could be completely off on it, but I don't think I am.
Lord Thought says anime is devilishly good.
Yes, it is. Especially this season. I've been very pleased with this season.
Season of what show? Or mini shows?
A lot. The whole entire fall season, or the fall 2022 season, there's like 58 shows, TV shows in total. And of them, I'm personally watching 25 of them, so it's a lot of stuff to take in, but it's been really good.
Did you say 25?
25. I've got my list of the shows that I am currently watching just from this season.
So we got the right guy on here, guys. Tell us a little bit about Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and does it has a Latino lead, I heard?
Yes, it does. Now, this is one that I'm a bit behind on. I've seen the first episode. I haven't watched the whole thing to its conclusion, but I do know that there are a lot of things about this show that has tripped off the Bocosos. Specifically, if you scroll back up just a little bit there, let's see, a little further up. They're a little further up, a little more. Keep that one.
This one.
That character has tripped off.
Whoa.
Sorry. Is that okay?
Guys. Gotcha. Go ahead.
There have been a few characters that have completely tripped off the Bocosos. That character is one of them.
Now, who is this character? Why?
As far as I understand, she's a very petite, a female character, almost borderlining on certain, let's say, certain fetishes, and that, of course, makes the weirdos go completely insane. But from what I've seen of the show, it's done by Studio Trigger. Studio Trigger is known for pushing things to their absolute limits. I liked what I saw. I do have a base understanding of Cyberpunk. I haven't played the the 2077 game, but that whole world, the whole world of Night City, is not. It's not a walk in the park. It is a harsh reality type of place, very dystopian in nature, and I know Pablo can back me up on that and speak more to the cyberpunk problems or the cyberpunk issues.
From Midnight's Edge Espanol, it's Pablo Geek Tripology. Give us the what is going on with cyberpunk edge runners and supposedly racism. Renee's page was talking about this.
Basically, Rene was pulling a lot of buzzwords because he wanted to get some momentum. He wanted to get some attention to the real issue. And the real issue is basically that Netflix is between the worst possible two opposites. There's the people on the internet that are saying that basically having that anime was bad because of the violence, because of having Rebecca, that is a character that looks like a small girl, but actually is not, is way older. She just happens to have a body modified to look like that. Uh, there's a lot of push on that regard that is pro guns, pro violence, disobedience against the state, and everything. And there's the other side that popped up because of a bad comment from a guy from, I think, is the Daily Wire, not the Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro network.
Yeah, Daily Wire.
Daily Wire, then. Uh, that basically say that anime is satanic. Uh, that is a really bad take, but it's a take that I have heard in other occasions because people just misunderstand that Japan doesn't have the same religious sensibilities as the United States. So basically, Netflix at this moment is, yeah, we are not making more of this anime. The main character, huge spoiler, sorry, but it's impossible that that character can be in the next season. And I think that was the joke from Rene. Even he's talking about the mother. The mother on the anime is the first character to die. She dies in I think, the first episode.
Yes, yeah,
She's the catalyst for the whole story. That is basically this guy living his worst life possible in regards of everything. Even though his mother tried to make him have a better life, but now she's dead and he is just against everyone alone. So I think this was more Rene just joking about buzzwords because, well, they are using buzzwords to say we are not making any more cyberpunk, and they can do another season with a completely different character, with a completely different story. That I think was kind of the plan because they leave the space to just make more cyberpunk stories, even knowing that the main character for this one will not really be there. Okay, it's impossible to have another season of this Latino character that just happens to be Latino. It's something that I even didn't mention on the review of Midnight Español because it's completely unimportant. It's just this character happens to be Latino, but the action, the backstory, the corporations screwing with people, the government being a brand a branch of the corporations, that is the really important thing. That is the theme of the anime. The Latinidad is not really mentioned that much. There's one or two times when they talk about him being from Santo Domingo, that is a portion of Night City and nothing else.
And say, if I remember correctly, the whole thing with Cyberpunk, as you mentioned, was the corporations and more or less like a world government type setup where nation states are pretty much done away with. So from that aspect, it doesn't really matter where you came from. It's basically which corporation do you align with, or do you try and suck up to. That's the vibe in the field that I've always gotten from something like this. But yeah, his nationality and all that, as you mentioned, it's there. But it's like with all things with the Japanese, they don't push it, and they don't try to shove it down your throat that this is the one and only thing that you should focus on about this character.
It's not a virtue signal.
Exactly.
No, absolutely, they don't virtue signal like that.
And which is great. That's the type of on another angle on that. That's the type of representation I care for. When it's not a virtue signal, it makes sense to the story. But from what you're telling me, it does. Like, it's a matter of fact.
Yeah, he is just Latino, and that's it. That's the whole, let's say, representation. I hate calling it representation, but yeah, it's there. He is Latino, and that's that. He's never touched on anything else, because white people are poor there, black people are poor there. Basically, everybody that could be poor is poor, because the corporations are huge and they control your life. So if you want to run your washing machine, you need to pay not for every time you use it, but for every second you are using it. So they have a credit system, and one of the things that happens in the first episode is they are washing the clothes, and then the washing machine stops, and there's a voice saying, "You need to add credits to your washing machine if you want to finish washing your clothes." Everything is controlled like that. Everything, you own nothing, and you are supposed to be happy. That's the future from Cyberpunk. If it just so happens that is similar to something that has been said a lot by a political stance in the real world, well, it's because we are kind of hating there. We are heading there real bad, to be honest.
No, I love your insights, gentlemen.